Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. I got Brian and Ryan here with me, and we gonna talk about some fragrances. First things first, it's Memorial Day, so you know gotta respect that. Everybody, I mean, it's not. It's, I mean, we celebrate Memorial Day, but it's not really a celebration, really. But just shout out to all of the armed forces members out there. I got family in the armed forces, so yeah. So what's up, Brian?
How are you doing, Dr. Drew? Nice to see
I'm
you
doing all
again.
right. Nice to see you as well, man.
Yeah. Hope you're doing well. I know you're busy, and I know we had this Memorial Day weekend that kind of opened up for us a while back. So that's why we're doing another one back to back from last weekend. So
Yeah,
not sure when the next one will be, maybe a month or two from now, but at least we had this Memorial Day reserve. So yeah, I hope you're doing well. Um, I love this weekend. Memorial Day is one of my favorite weekends, not just because it gives us a 3 day weekend to get off from work, but
mm-hmm.
also because just the what it stands for. I agree with you. I mean, we have to give them respect for those who died in the armed forces. I have maybe one or two friends, distant friends, who are in the armed forces. They didn't die, so that's a fortunate thing. But I heard a lot of stories from people, and it's their dedication and their their commitment to the country that allows us to be a nation how we are right now. Even though there's a lot of problems within the nation, I mean we're just one of the strongest nations in the world just because of the fact that we have a lot of freedoms, we have a lot of um, pioneering. I mean, there's so much this country affords us due to the fact that uh, the armed forces have paved the way for a lot of just just opening a lot of
A lot of
lanes and
doors.
doors and
Yeah,
stuff for us to go through, and they paid with with their lives. So I agree with you.
100%.
Yeah, a Memorial Day, Veterans Day, those are my one of my favorite holidays. So I'm a big fan of um I don't know how I wouldn't say fan. I would say I'm a very big patriot. I guess I'm a patriot for the United States. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't born here. I'm a citizen
Okay.
of the United States, but I'm very proud to be American. I mean, whenever there's something to do with countries competing in sports and so forth, I always cheer for the United States. Uh, I'm always I'm a big proponent of this country. This is the only country in the world who really opened doors for a lot of things in my life, just in my career and what I want to do. There's a lot of just beauty in this country. So I've always been a proponent of this country. I've always been a big fan of being an American. And I've always been proud to represent America wherever I go. If I travel outside, I try to be the best representation of being an American. I know there's a lot of people out there who gives a low representation of what an American tourist is, but I always try to present the best. So anyway,
That's awesome.
thank- thanks for being on another live stream for Memorial Day. Just
Of
wanted to give a
course.
little spiel for my from my side.
Okay, that's fine. That's awesome, man. I didn't know that you weren't born here. So
Oh
where
yeah,
did you come from
yeah,
originally?
I was born in Korea. So
Okay.
I was born in Seoul, Korea, a long time ago, more than 50 years ago. But I moved here when I was about 3 years old.
Okay.
So my dad and my mom came here to just find a good job. And I think back then there was a big influx of Korean people. I don't know about other Asian communities, but for Korea, especially here in California, there was a huge influx of Korean people. So there's a generation called the 1.5 generation. So my
Okay.
parents are the first generation, the people who came strictly, who came from Korea when they were in their 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and tried to establish a new life here in America. and a lot of them, they don't speak English very well. Their second language is English. Like my mother, even though she's been here for a long time, she's still she doesn't speak English very well. And
Okay.
then there's a second generation, which is people who were born here, right? So if I had a child, he would be a second generation. But there's a huge generation that is around my age. We're called the 1.5. So basically, we came here when we were little kids, like let's say under 10 years old or under 10 or 12 years old. And we grew up here not knowing anything about Korea. So I don't know anything about Korea,
Okay.
not at all. So I visited Korea once back when I was 11 years old, I believe, with my
Mm-hmm.
parents. Oh, with not my parents, with my mother. But other than that, I don't have any. My wife, she's been to Korea many times with her friends and so forth. So I haven't, I didn't go with her. But anyway, I don't have a lot of information as to how to live in Korea. But
Okay.
I heard it's very different now in Korea. But I'm just purely an American. I consider myself American. I've been in California all my life.
Okay.
So in the Orange County and Los Angeles area. So yeah, that's the 1.5 generation. People who were born in Korea but moved here when they were very young. So they don't have any recollection of their homeland. And they just established United States as their homeland, basically.
Okay.
That's how I
That's
see
awesome.
it.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. Where were you born? You're born in here, right? American?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Born and raised.
Yeah. Were you always
So,
originally, where were you originally from? Not Vegas, right?
uh, yeah, Vegas, Montana, both.
Okay.
I
Well, yeah, that's why you went to Montana back up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So you like Montana, or you find it a little bit just a place to kind of visit, or is something where you plan to maybe stay there for the long term in the future, or where you see yourself?
Uh, I really like Montana a lot. The people, just the way of life, it's a lot
Yeah,
simpler.
yeah,
Small town, small city. Not a lot of diversity, but like I said, it's fine. It's just an easy, simple way of living. Out there, the cost of living is really expensive. Like the land is really
really,
expensive.
really.
Yeah.
Huh.
hmm Here in Vegas, I mean, it's nice, big city, lots of crime, which is a bad thing. People are jerks. Bad thing. It gets really hot here
Yeah.
in the summer, but I mean, other than that, yeah, I mean, yeah, Montana is a place I would like to go back to,
Okay,
100%. But I don't really see that happening anytime soon. So
that's interesting. Yeah, I'd love to visit Montana, places like that, Wyoming. I mean, I only see those places in movies, so the
really,
movies always depict those places as very lush and beautiful, and the people are always you
very
know,
nice.
like, very nice and stuff like that. So, I mean, it'll be a nice change. I mean, California is great. I love living here in California. I have no complaints living here, but I know there's a huge influx of people moving out of California right now
Yeah.
and into places like where you're living, Las Vegas and stuff like that. I guess that's why there's an increase in crime, maybe. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not putting Californians down, but
Yeah. I mean,
usually,
what you can go ahead. Go
oh
ahead.
no, no. I mean, I was just saying, usually people who are moving out, usually that demographic is more of a lower socioeconomic people, maybe trying to find a better situation or something like that. So I don't know. That's just what my opinion is or assumption is. But
I mean, that's true. That's true. I'd
now
say
we're
a
getting
lot of
into something
people.
political. Sorry, I don't want to make this a political thing.
No, no, that's fine. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of people from California, they can sell their house for upwards of 500,000, even more than that, which
Well,
is
yeah,
like
if they have a house, yeah, if they have a house, right? Yeah,
if they have a house and then they come here to Vegas and they can buy 2, 3 homes with the amount of money that they
right.
got from their house. So it's really, in all reality, it's making it harder for the locals here in Vegas to actually
Yeah,
want to buy a house because
yeah,
they're increasing
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the housing market pretty much. Because I don't have $500,000 in cash
No,
just to
no.
go buy a house, and then you try to bid on something, you
Mhm.
get overbid with the cash offer, so it makes it damn near impossible Now that back in like 2016, 2017, it was possible,
Yeah, it
but
was.
it, until the influx of people who were moving, like you were saying, out of California, out of all of these states that, and we're not gonna, we don't have to make this political, but I mean, just the politics, just in general,
Yeah.
everything is skewed, um, for the working, for like the working class. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you gotta have a hell of money, but we work a 9 to 5, I assume, or you do contract work. I work 9 to 5. We're like middle class.
Mhm.
Um, it's just not, I don't know. It's just weird nowadays. And then they're trying to bring the Oakland A's over here. We don't want the Oakland
Oh,
A's.
really? Okay. You don't
We
want
don't
the
want
Oakland A's there? Okay.
no,
Well, I know
no.
there's a whole bunch of teams going there now. I mean, you guys have. I don't follow football or baseball. I only follow NBA. But
Okay.
weren't they trying to get a NBA men's team down there or something, or move somebody down there? I know you guys have the Aces, I guess, the women's team.
Yeah, I mean the
So
Ace is pretty good. The Ace is pretty
yeah,
good. I think they were trying to get a men's basketball team down
uh,
here. We don't need that. We never. I did. To be honest with you, we never needed the Raiders either.
yeah,
We didn't need them because we had to pay for like the stadium.
really,
The
okay,
yeah taxes, pretty much
okay,
increase the taxes. Then
yeah,
you have like the Las Vegas Golden Knights, right? That's like a team in Vegas that we made, that we built.
mm,
That like Vegas locals, we like
yeah,
the
yeah,
Knights because it's our own team. It's not a
yeah,
team from somewhere else. Uh, so I don't know. It's just one of those things where, because like I feel like Vegas is the entertainment capital of the world, so we don't need, to be honest with you, we don't need sports teams here. Like
yeah,
tourists come here to go to the strip, gamble, and just see the strip and stuff like that. We don't need any sports teams here. Then, like I was
yeah,
saying before, they're trying to bring the A's here. If you do any research about that, the stadium, it would be like the smallest stadium in the MLB.
um,
Plus, the family that owns the A's, I mean, they're billionaires, so they want money from, they want pretty much like a tax break, or they want money from
okay.
Vegas
That's
to
why
be
they're
able to
going
build
down there.
that, but they could pay for it themselves. Plus, the
Yeah,
A's suck, in my opinion. So it's like, you know,
yeah,
they're supposed to be passing legislator, or supposed to be voting on something, but
yeah.
I hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, for the local people, maybe it's a bad thing, but I could see it from their point of view. I mean, every businessman, whether they're making a lot of money or if they're making six-digit figures or several billion dollars, everybody's trying to look to save money somehow. If it's a huge savings by doing something, doing some sort of a strategic maneuver, I could
Mhm.
understand. I mean, that's just how business is. So it'll be kind of, I guess, kind of foolish for them not to explore those options and try to do something. Um, in another sense, I believe, yeah, in another way to look at it, Vegas is the entertainment city, or that's how we think, the entertainment capital of the world. So why not bring a sports team in there because they are the entertainment capital. So if we say no, don't bring one here, then are they considered the entertainment capital? So that's
Well,
kind of how I see it. But I see your point of view. But
it's
yeah,
like, because I mean, realistically, I don't know if tourists would want to come to Vegas just to see a football game, just to see a
oh,
base.
okay, I see that.
You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
see that.
Because we thrive off tourism, and conventions, right? So we have SEMA, all the technology conventions here and stuff like that. We got just a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't feel like we need sports teams like that, just because the majority of the people that are going to be going to those games would probably be locals. We don't want to pay like 150, $200 a ticket. Plus, if you think about it, uh, just let's just say they bring the A's here, they're gonna have to pack out that stadium just to
Yeah,
make a profit,
it
and
won't
nobody's
be.
gonna want to go see a baseball game on a Wednesday night at 8 o'clock p.m. because
Yeah,
most
you're
people, they work down there on the strip, and then they can't get off. They got kids. Like we have the F1 races, right?
Mhm.
That's about to happen. So they're repaving a whole bunch of these roads here, just making it hell for everybody who works down on the strip.
Okay.
Uh, it's just, I don't know. I mean, it's cool. It's cool, but at the same time, it's like we don't need it. I feel
Mm,
like we start bringing teams here. They're gonna start. Then they're gonna put a amusement park, and then it's gonna turn into California, which I don't want it to turn into California.
mm.
That's just me. You know, like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, it never was like this, man. I mean, the cost of living, it was great.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
yeah,
You could actually raise a family
yeah.
and live comfortably. And it's just not like that anymore. I'm pretty sure it's like that everywhere else too, especially nowadays. But yeah, enough about
Mm.
Vegas. Enough
Yeah,
about
enough
Vegas.
about let's talk about something positive like fragrances. Yeah, but that's
Dude,
interesting.
I could talk about that all day long, man.
Oh
I could
yeah,
talk all
I
day
could tell you could spend a good 2 or 3 hours ranting about that stuff. And it'll be interesting to listen to. We could probably do a live stream about that one day. So I got my gripes about California as well. So
long. I'm
that
sure.
yeah, we could talk about it. But today we want to, I guess, just make a little relaxation of a live stream because the last few were just kind of like, I guess, me just sharing, I'm trying to share with you at least, Dr. Goo, just a set of knowledge points that will perhaps help us in our ability to discern fragrances the correct way, or at least as correct as possible, rather than just kind of listening to people and just taking them for granted what they say, not knowing what they're really saying. Which
Yeah.
again, I'm not saying you do or not. I'm just saying that that's how I was. So I had
Okay.
no idea what was being talked about. So I had to do some research. So whether learned or not learned or already have learned before I did, I just wanted to kind of share it. But today is just going to be something about maybe presenting some top threes, maybe. I guess we were talking about top fives, but that's gonna just make the live stream too long. And we're both not very diverse in our sets, like Ropes '08 or somebody who has like
Yeah.
2,000 fragrances out there. But I mean, we're just normal people. Just, I mean, Ropes '08 is a normal person, but we're not specialized in that kind of a domain. So um, I guess what was the first question? Oh, the first question would
Well,
be kind of like,
you wanna
did you have one
you wanna
first?
you wanna start off with what's your scent of the day?
Oh, scent of the day. Oh, my scent of the day today is the Amwatch Goldman. So
Okay.
yeah, so Goldman right here. So I got Goldman.
Okay. All right.
So this one, I love it. So it is a Shipra, or how you call it, Shipra.
Yeah.
But
Bro, Cypress.
yeah, I agree with whatever Mr. What's his name? Fragrance, the fragrance guy. Is that or was it the perfume
That
guy?
cologne guy? Or is
That
it
cologne guy, yeah, that cologne guy, yeah.
yeah,
So that cologne guy, his favorite or one of his favorites is this right here,
Goldman?
is the Amouage Goldman. So I agree with him. I mean, this is just pure maturity. I mean, if you don't have a refined nose, I don't think you'll like this at all. So it is a very kind of a, I don't know, Civity, Castoreum. I'm not sure what those smell
Dirty?
like, but it kind of tells me just the imagery is Civity, Castoreum, right?
Yeah.
Like you said,
Yeah,
kind of animal, like urinal type of a thing, but it's not in a bad sense. I
okay.
guess in a way where, I don't know, you have to have a certain place and reason to wear it. You can't just spray it on and go out there as if this is just something I picked. And
Okay.
especially when you're wearing, clothes like this out to the public, you can't wear Goldman. You have to be.
I mean, you could.
Yeah, you can, but I'm just saying, in my opinion, yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, the disclaimer is again, in the fragrance world, in the fragrance for fragcom community, or not fragcom community, but fragcom, right? Because that is fragrance community. Um, the disclaimer is you could do whatever you want, right? I mean, you can. You can do whatever you want. You could go out to the public in your pajama pants, right? But my opinion is
You
don't go
shouldn't.
out with your pajama pants, you know? I think that's
Yeah.
a bad look, you know? But again, you can do whatever you want. So for me, Amwatch Goldman, you have to be kind of dressed to impress a little bit
Okay.
to give off the right impression. I really recommend you to get a sample. Or like when I said, if you come to, when you make a day off and come down here,
Yeah.
and then I mean on the day when we're planned to be together or whatever that case can be,
Yeah.
bring one of your little vials and get a good 2 mil, 5 mil sample of it, and let me know how it is after a week or two of wearing it.
I bought a sample off of eBay.
Mhm.
So it should
Mhm.
be
Oh, you did?
here.
Okay.
Yeah. There was like what, $9. It comes in one of those carded samples, so it should
Okay.
be here
Yeah, 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 yeah.
next week, or this week on maybe Friday or Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, let me know how it is. I told you before, I don't think you would like it, but because it's very floral centric,
I
it
mean, like
is.
I, the first impressions of the My by Vogue, right? I smelled that yesterday. I made a video.
Yeah,
I posted it this
yeah,
morning.
I saw it. Yeah.
That one, I love it. So
Right, right.
if it's and that one's very floral as well. It was very floral, but it was very like you were saying with Goldman, like Castorium. There's some sort of civet note. Almost
Yeah,
reminded me of like Diva by Emmanuel Garo, just like
yeah.
the old school vintage
Mhm.
smelling.
Yeah,
That if it's like that,
yeah.
then I'm gonna like it. Because if there is like in florals, if it's just straight up floral and there's
No, no,
nothing else,
no,
then
no,
I
no.
wouldn't like it, but if there's something else more going on there,
Yeah,
I think, it's fine.
yeah. The florals are very orchestrated in this
Okay,
fragrance. It's not just there just to show up. It's part of the group for a purpose.
okay.
So I mean, I think you, in that sense, you would appreciate the fragrance. So what's your scent of the day?
Journeyman by Mosh.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Almost summer and you're wearing journeyman. So,
Yeah,
well, I guess.
I thought I would wear it, just because I know it doesn't last that long.
Yeah,
So, I've gone in, like, 5 hours-ish, and then by
yeah,
that time, I could probably reapply and put something else on, but I'm
yeah,
loving it right
yeah.
now, man. I'm
Yeah, I
loving it.
love that. Yeah, the journeyman. The thing about journeyman is, yeah, you're right. It doesn't last that long, but for some reason, there's a likability to that scent profile that if you just spray again, like I would like if I was at work last year,
Mhm.
every 3 hours I would just spray another pump. I'd just spray again or spray a second time.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't bother anybody, in the office. It's that likable. So it's actually um it makes people smile, like actually kind of like, you know.
Does it?
Yeah. It's strong and it's very incensey, I guess. It's very not strong in terms of how projecting it is, but it's strong in terms of its character.
Yeah.
But
It does
it's
got character.
very likable, strong, you know.
It is. I
It's
feel
not
like it's like a very light, it's strong, but it's also, like, light enough, airy almost. There's, like, airiness to it.
Yeah, in the beginning, it's for me, it's kind of fresh in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a for the first 5 or 10 minutes there's kind of this a little bit of a like a green, not green, but a weird freshness to it that kind of reminds me of like Ambroxan a little bit. There's a lot of Ambroxan in the beginning, I feel. But
Okay.
then when it kind of tones down into the dry down, that's where I like Journeyman. So
Okay.
at least for my bottle, but
I don't know. Journeyman, I feel like it's, like you were saying, it's, like, fresh, kinda like in the beginning, almost soapy. There's almost like a
yeah, it's
soapy flow.
almost soapy. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. With, like, this leather accord.
Ooh, leather? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not leather. I don't know. I kinda get some sort of, like, fresh leather with
Okay.
soapy
Okay.
floral.
No, I
I
mean,
don't
I
you
could
know?
kind of understand because Journeyman has a sort of a cornucopia of scent, right? It's a very it's like a bowl of whole bunch of stuff in it. So if you find leather in there, I wouldn't be surprised because for me, it's hard for me to pick out leather in certain. I think one thing is because I'm not very attuned to what leather does smell like. Because most of the leather that I have, like a leather jacket or a leather couch, it doesn't smell like anything to me. So leather to me is more like an accord fantasy
Okay.
note, I guess. So I understand the new car smell because the new car smell doesn't really come from the leather. It comes from
Plastic.
the plastics inside that are still kind of brand new rather than aged plastic after 10 years. But yeah, I guess I can understand that you pick out leather. I guess Journeyman has the ability due to the fact that it has so many different notes in it
Notes.
that
Yeah.
any combination of those notes can reveal a certain feeling of an accord to certain other people. So I guess
Mhm.
people who all if they all have 100 journeymans, 100 people, each person in that 100 person group can
Okay.
depict something new or something different
Exactly.
from the other person. It's kind of like that, I guess, for me at least, journeyman.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
It's everybody's nose is different, and you
yeah,
might, like you said, like you're saying, you're not really accustomed to that leather note.
yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, man, I wonder. I don't know if in California they got like a leathersmith or like a leather shop with the real
Leather
leather
shop.
in it.
I mean,
Like
I'm
just
pretty sure there would. Yeah, there probably would be a place like that. Yeah,
and you should smell it like a bat like a you're saying your wife likes the Valentino bags, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Have you ever smelled the new like what the bag smells like when you first get it, like just fresh
Yeah,
out?
I mean, I guess there's probably a scent there. So I understand what the leather cord is because
Hmm.
I'm a little experienced in fragrances, so I understand
Yeah.
what that leather cord is, what perfumers are trying to depict when they make that accord. But
Hmm.
it's not that exaggerated as in a perfume, right? So if
Okay.
you smell a brand new bag, usually the brand newness I smell from the packaging, I mean, that's kind of like the aura of the store because it was in the store maybe for a while. So
Yeah.
the store has a certain fragrance to the stores, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, after time, I mean, I guess a few bags do. Like if you get a real saddle bag, like something that's made fresh from not from a brand name, but like if you go to some Western town and then you get a, a saddle for your horse, I guess those do smell like real leather. So, I mean, I don't have anything like that, but everything I have is like a modern, westernized
Modern.
leather that's been overly tanned and overly processed so that it feels and looks like leather, but it sure doesn't
Doesn't
smell
smell
like
like it.
anything.
Nah, I
So,
feel it. Let me answer some comments real quick, and
okay, all right.
then we'll get into
Top
the
threes or
the top the whatever. Yeah. So Nebu says, "What's up, Goo and Brian Ryan?" He said
Mhm.
left one of my bags at the store and had to go back, so he said he'll chill for a while. What's
All
up,
right.
Nebu?
There
And
you go.
then Harry Samal, he says, "I'm trying to like Goldman, but I'm going to keep trying. Journeyman is begging fire for. I love it.
Yeah,
It's
it is a
fire.
banger. Yeah, it's on fire. Yeah, or how you guys say it, fire. Yeah, my
Yeah,
generation we don't say fire. We just say cool or
or cool or good.
oh no. Well, good. But yeah, I remember a long time ago. Well, especially in California, there was a time when we used to say fresh. I don't know if
Oh,
you,
really?
yeah, back in the '90s, like early '90s, there was like a 2 or 3 year period where if something was really good, we go, that's fresh. Whoa,
Huh.
fresh. Yeah, it was. I didn't say it because I thought it was kind of weird, but it was prevalent at that time, fresh, fresh, fresh. And then now you don't hear it anymore. But I think it's kind of I think a lot of people in my generation will have to think hard because it was a small period of time.
Okay.
We used to also say um what else did we used to say? Fresh. We used to say well we say nice all the time. Nice. We still say nice, nice, right? Or
Yeah.
um we used to say awesome all the time. Awesome. Or we also say that was rad. Do you ever hear that
Right.
rad? Yeah. You never hear that?
Barely.
Okay,
Well,
yeah.
barely. I mean, like in the movies,
Okay, yeah,
but
but yeah, the '80s, people will say
okay.
that's rad. Oh, that's rad, rad. or they'll just say it the full word radical. That's radical, man. So when I hear that, it takes me back to my grade school, like high school time, because people would say that all the time, radical, rad. But anyway,
Okay.
yeah.
A Google couple says that's tight. You
Oh
heard
yeah,
that?
tight. Yeah.
Okay.
But tight's more of a recent. In the past 20 years, people say tight. I don't think anybody in the 90s used to say tight, but yeah, that's a cool word too. That's tight.
Okay. I could think of another bussin'. That's bussin'.
Austin, yeah, that's more like your generation, right?
Yeah.
We never said that. My generation never said busting. That's something you guys like right now. These days, people say all these things like no cap or something. I have no idea what that means. What does that mean? They go blah 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 blah. They say something. They say no cap.
That means
Can
that
somebody
that means that what they're saying is not a lie. It's the truth. Like no
really?
cap. Yeah.
So what does the cap stand for?
I have no idea to be
Really?
honest.
Yeah.
Or if
So
somebody says, "Oh, you capping," that means you lying, or that means it's not
okay,
true.
I get.
But if you're like, I walked my dog today, no
Uh-huh.
cap.
You
He
just
has
you did.
proof.
Okay.
Yeah, you can ask him. Google couple says no lie. Yeah, so exactly,
Okay. All right.
no
Yeah.
lie.
Okay. So if I
Sorry.
tell my boss I did the task, no cap, then he doesn't need proof, right? Because I already showed the certification for it.
Yeah, yeah. You could be like, yeah, you could tell him that. He'd probably laugh, or maybe he wouldn't understand what you're saying. Or in your case, if you're wearing a hat like you are today, you'd be like, yeah, no cap, and just take the cap off.
Oh yeah,
You know.
yeah. I mean that's a play on words, but yeah. But
So let's see here. Okay, so what are your if you do you want to do 3 or 5?
3 or 1 or 2 is fine. I mean, we're already at the 30-minute mark, so it's like
Oh, are we? Oh, okay, man, it's been going
I know,
quick.
I
Um,
know.
so if you had to evacuate your house, you can only take a couple fragrances. Which ones would you take?
Yeah, let's say that. So I'm glad you pulled that email. So that's the email that I forwarded you, right? So um,
Yes.
yeah, that's just some brainstormed questions that I had for a live stream. So if like let's say because people ask that all the time. So if you are in a sinking boat and you had your whole collection with you, and somebody's coming to pick you up from the air helicopter and say you can
Mhm.
only bring 3 or 4 fragrances with you. The rest of them you gotta jet them. I mean, you gotta let them go. I'm sorry, man. You gotta. So which ones would I would say the top 3 at least that you remind me because my answer is there, but one of them is Interlude Man, right? Interlude Man.
Yeah.
I brought out Interlude Man here. Yeah, here this one, Interlude Man. So
Okay.
I mean, this one is just fire. And there's another question in there regarding what you should have as a Fragcom participant, right? You got to have this. This is a keeper. I mean, I don't wear it often, so
I
a
mean,
lot of
dude,
the
it lasts forever. You don't have to wear it often. You spray it one time, it's gonna you're
yeah
gonna last 2 days.
yeah. I mean, you can. I don't know about your formulation, but my formulation doesn't stay for maybe about 8-10 hours. So mine
Really?
might be yeah. Mine's not really. Again, my skin is a little bit different from yours. Remember, I told you that according to Fragrantica, if something lasts moderately, that means
Yeah.
for me lasts light. If something
Okay.
lasts for like a long time, that means it's moderate for me. So mine's always on the lower end of the scale.
Okay.
So I don't care about that. Just the fragrance itself, the notes, just how this
How's
plays out
both?
is so unique. There's nothing like this. There's absolutely nothing like Interlude Man. I mean,
Mhm.
you guys out there, if you guys had to buy one and you guys are gonna just experience one for the rest of your life. I mean, if you have a whole set of Macy's fragrances and you could just spray Macy's, yeah, that's fine. You could spray Macy's because that's what I do. I have a lot of Blue de Chanel's and stuff like that that I use throughout the day, but I'm not going to use this. But this is pure enjoyment. This is just you got to experience this one time. You know, oregano. I don't know what oregano really smells like in fragrance, but they said this is oregano centric, smoke centric, incense centric. This is bombastic. This is a masterpiece. I don't think anybody in the entire perfumery world has ever overlooked this as something that is just mediocre. You know, this is something that has been highlighted in every perfumery's artist's mind. It owns some rent. Um, what do they call it? It lives rent free in a lot of perfumeries' heads.
My,
I mean,
it it is
this is that.
it is unique.
Yeah, go ahead.
It is unique. I'm
But
sorry, Ryan. Hold on.
no, I'm done with
Jamil
you.
says capping is stretched true. So that is true. So Brian, when you're talking about Black Iris, you could have been like, you guys got to try this. No cap. You know.
Yeah,
All
you know.
right. Sorry,
Yeah.
interlude man. I'm reading another
But
Harry.
I don't have to add no cap for Interlude Man. Interlude Man has a entourage of its own. You never have to use no cap. It's
Yeah.
certified by itself. If you don't
Yeah.
believe it, you don't have to believe it. You know, I have to say no cap for maybe Nicean because nobody knows what Nicean is, right? But for Interlude Man, this is like the Mona Lisa. You know, you got it of the Fragcom community. You know, what's your number 3 or number 2 then?
What are some of mine? I would
Yeah.
have to say. Let's see. I had
If you
seen
were to be rescued
most
by somebody. Uh,
Hmm. For sure, Overture, man. For sure,
yep.
Overture.
Yep.
Sorry, nothing ever. Like you were saying about the interlude. Nothing smells like Overture. I've never smelled anything that smells like Overture.
Right.
That's no cap, 100%. Another one would have to be. I gotta say Bracken, man. I love Bracken, man.
Really? That's interesting. Yeah. I'm
I
glad I
love the. Yeah, you did. I remember I bought it. I bought it from you.
yeah, I'm glad that it went from one band's no treasure is somebody else's treasure. I'm not gonna say trash because it's not trash. It's good. But one man's non-treasure is somebody else's treasure in this case. So
And Beach Hut,
each
Beach Hut,
man.
man. And then I guess let's see, that's 3. I'll add 2 more because
Okay.
I have one here. I'd go with Polo Green. Now
Really?
this is assuming that I don't know, maybe we're being rescued, but I guess these fragrances maybe won't be available to us because maybe
Right.
we'll be on an island somewhere stranded, like in a movie for a while. So I'd Polo Green, and then I'd have to take Tom Ford's Bois de Jour.
Okay. That's very
Mm-hmm.
interesting. So I can see your strain of taste because we are similar in some ways, but then we kind of diverge off into a little bit different roads in terms of taste. So that's very interesting. Yeah. So the question is not within the context of living in the United States. So if you're being rescued from Catalina Island area, like if you're in a Lake Tahoe or something, and you could just go back to Macy's and get another bottle of Polo. I'm talking about in a imaginary world where your boat is just whatever you have, and then once you get rescued, you won't have that for the rest of your life. Then yeah,
Yeah,
you're taking Polo Green with you, right?
100%,
Yeah. Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
A
So
Google couple says interlude man, day or night. Oh, see, you do have Polo.
I
Okay.
brought mine to you. So
Hey, my bad. Go ahead.
so what did Google couple say?
Oh, Google couple said interlude man, day or night. I think he's saying you
Yeah.
can wear it day or night.
Yeah, he might be saying the statement is for him, it is a day or night fragrance, or was he asking if it's a day or night? For me, it's definitely a night, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you could wear it during the day, definitely. I mean, if you want to be that eccentric person, not in a bad sense, in a good sense, that
Mm-hmm.
this guy smells like bomb, right? I mean, oh, that's another term. We used to say bomb a lot too. So
The
yeah.
bomb.com.
Oh, we don't say bomb.com because this is before the .com era, right? So we were, we were, 90s. We used to say bomb a lot, but now you can't really say bomb by itself. You have to say bomb.com because you'll get in trouble by by
If
just saying
someone
bomb,
thinking
right?
you have a bomb or
Yeah,
something.
we're the post to the 911 eras. So yeah, but yeah, the
Uh,
interlude man, it's great, both day or night, definitely. Yeah, if you could
Harry
make it work,
Small.
yeah, You-
Hmm?
yeah, if you could make it work, then you can make it work. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
100%.
definitely, yeah.
I will not wear that in high heat anymore.
Oh yeah,
Only
don't ever wear
cold.
it, especially Vegas. Yeah, there's no way you could wear. If you go into a cool environment, let's say you're staying in a Vegas nightclub for 2 hours straight, you're not gonna leave. Yeah, you could wear interlude man in there. But
Yeah,
definitely, interlude man will be awesome in a nightclub setting. Not that I go or anything, but um, so I had other ones that I could pick up. Not only interlude man,
okay.
but what I would also take with me would be like I just showed you earlier, Nissian.
Nissian.
So Nissian was the other one that I always tell you about this one. And this
Yeah.
one was picked up a while back. So a lot of these were picked up from like last year. I haven't used it much because this is a work sense, right? This is a powerhouse work sense. It's just like I told you, it's nothing like anything PDM makes. If you didn't come in a PDM bottle and something else, I wouldn't think it was coming from PDM because if you smell Harrod and Layton, you could tell, you know,
Yeah.
you can tell they're from PDM. It has that PDM signature, very strong PDM stamp on it, right? But this one
Yeah.
is seeing you, it
It's
is
different.
so it's a 50-year-old CEO. He's walking into a room where all the people are kind of like they haven't seen the CEO. They only heard stories about him. He's wearing this scene. Um, I really urge you to get picked. It's a blind buy. I would say
It's a
I would guarantee you, Doctor Goo, if you pick this up, you will
I would like
yeah, stuff like Goldman. I can't really tell, but for Nissan, it will be one of your favorites. I would say probably one of your top 5 or 10. I would just tell you right now. I would guarantee it.
never find it at a good price.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, back then Nissan came at a really good price. I picked it up. Now I
Yeah.
see the price for Nissan. It's high. It's
Yeah.
it's how can you get one unless you get like a decant, right? So,
Yeah.
but the part of the enjoyment is having it in the actual bottle, right? I mean, if you get
Mhm.
a little 10 mil decant or something like that, you get the fragrance, but you still want the presentation to enjoy having the actual presentation because just the presentations themselves, I get a lot of enjoyment out of it, right?
Yeah.
Except for you, if you do like a Zerjoff, right? So Zerjoff, they do have the 15 mil presentations, right?
Yeah.
There's
50
a
mls.
regular, the 100 mil, right?
Oh, that's a 100 mil. Okay.
Yeah, this is the 100 mil, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then
That's 49.
this is the 50 mil, right? So this is the one that you put on the as the thumbnail, right? Luxor. And I'll talk
Uh,
about this one.
I think that's is that like oh wait this thumbnail? No, I think that's facade, right? Or
Oh no, yeah, this thumbnail you put down Zerjoff Luxor.
is that one? Is that the one you wanted me to put?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Then I'm a. I
That's
maybe
why I
I
brought it
forgot.
out. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It has nothing to do with Memorial Day. I just thought that it's a nice color combination
Okay.
because the last three was brown, red, and blue. So might as well make something like a gold or something like that. So I mean,
Okay.
but it has nothing to do with Memorial Day. But yeah, compared to the 50 mil, the 15 mils actually come in a really scaled
Cute
down
little
bottle.
bottle.
It's really it's it's solid. It's a solid bottle. That's why I asked you. Remember on that
Yeah,
one site, I told you to grab the golden dollar because that's a steal of a price for
it
that
is.
golden dollar. So I don't know if you got one or not, but I mean if you don't, it's going to come in one of these bottles, and it's
On
very
the small
enjoyable.
one.
Yeah, it's not going to be in these like if you get a decant or something, it comes in like this. I mean, it's okay. You can enjoy the fragrance, but you don't get the pleasure of looking at the bottle, right? So owning falling in the bottle or something like that. But yeah, I love Zerjov's ability to just kind of scale down the bottles, and this is just one of their regular bottles, like a 100 ml bottle, but just scaled
Mhm.
down, miniature size. So
You get the
um,
little plaque on the front too and everything.
yeah, it's got the plaque. Yeah, definitely, it's got the. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm sorry, it doesn't have the plaque. It's painted on.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not. Yeah,
Still
I
though, I mean, that's pretty cool.
yeah, it's still pretty cool, but I just realized you're right. When you said plaque, I thought from my memory that it was a plaque, but now I just realized right now that it's
It's just
plain
painted on
painted.
it.
But what can you do? It's a 15 mil. Why they're not going to waste uh, uh, a metal plaque for a 15 mil, you know? So, but
Let's see. I think well, Harry Small says Nissan is very good.
yeah, this
Uh,
is
Google Google couple says Overture Man bars clubs only. Heard it was boozy.
uh,
I I wore it to a bar in a club. I actually wore it
mm,
to a karaoke. I
yeah,
guess you could say, yeah, karaoke bar. I did, but like it is. I mean, Brian, what do you think? Because I mean, it's like it is boozy, but it's not.
yeah.
It's not over the top boozy. Like it's
Well,
more of like slightly boozy, but you get more animalic and resins. I feel like
yeah.
it's
I guess first of all, I want to say, yeah, Google couple, thanks for your questions, or not questions, but maybe their statements. That's a little. The thing is, it's a little cryptic to find out to see if he's actually asking us if it's if it's boozy or if he's saying Overture Man is boozy.
uh,
What was
I think he
I
said Overture Man bars clubs only. I think he's asking
if
if
if we
if
if he thinks that or we think that?
I think yeah, if we think that.
Okay,
And then
well,
he heard it
yeah.
boozy. I don't think he smelled it yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Overture Man. So that's another one if I were to be saved from a boat. So Interlude Man's one of them. Definitely. I have to take this with me. Overture Man is the other one, right? So the two masterpieces from Amouage that stand side by side for man, not for woman. For me, it's definitely Interlude Man and uh Overture Man.
Overture.
So Overture Man, I didn't bring it out. I don't know where it is, but I would say I don't get the booziness that a lot of people say. It's like right off the top of their head, they say booziness is the first note that they get from it. I get maybe a cognac vibe. It's kind of cognac-y, I guess, to you, because of the
Yeah,
fact that it looks like cognac, right?
yeah, it looks like a bottle of Hennessy.
Yeah.
Which whichever the Hennessy bottle is like the clear or
Okay.
the
Yeah.
orangey-ish
Yeah.
more
Okay.
core color.
Yeah. But it doesn't. To me, it's not a strong. It's not a strong alcoholic vibe to it. It's the more of the tinge, I guess, because like what they say, I have a little bit of a reminder note here. Cognac is actually it's
It's
a
wine.
distillation. It's a distillation of the certain kind of a brandy or a brandy wine, I guess.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there's
wine.
grape. Okay, wine. So
Yeah,
they smash those grapes and make a wine out of it. But cognac is a distillation of that wine. But
yeah,
then when they use cognac in fragrances, it's another, I guess, another distillation of cognac, which is a distillation of that wine. So it's like a double distillation, and they
Mhm.
call it a. They actually put it in the. Let me see what it says. The fruity um, family, right? The fruit note family. So
Yeah,
in terms of like the fruity kind of a tinge coming from cognac, yes, that is in Overture Man. But the booziness aspect, like like Bulgari, I gave it to you. Bulgari, no, I didn't give it to you. Man in Black. Have you smelled that? Bulgari
yeah,
Man. It's a popular one. It's a leather, and it's a leather and booze, right? That one smells like booze. So if you spray, you can actually feel the impact of opening a bottle of some kind of a Hennessy or something like that. But
yeah,
Overture Man's very is a very well blended. It's a masterpiece way of blending these notes so that you don't just get a blast of something immediately of just booze. It is a cognac fruity note in there.
yeah.
But Overture Man, yeah, I have to save that one. If there's anything I have to take with me, and then that's the only one I'm gonna bring to an island for the rest of my life, Overture Man, Interlude Man. Again, these two fragrances, I don't wear them often. I know you do. You wear them often, but for me, it's like and
Special
another
K.
thing is there's a Bloomingdale's near me. So
Oh,
whenever I go there, they have a display of Amouage. I always spray the Overture Man when I'm there. So
mm-hmm.
I get a good free, 5 or 6
Spray.
sprays of it, and just why not? Save my Overture Man, use their Overture Man, and it's a full bottle. Nobody uses it, so nobody even bothers to look at it. So, and then there's that one sales rep that comes to me. Can I help you? I want to show you something about Amouage. It looks like you're very interested in Amouage. This one smells really good. Reflection Man. They always show Reflection Man for some reason.
That's
I
because
have
it's the
no
most popular one, I think.
idea. Yeah, yeah. I have no idea why they always show. Like whenever I go to the Creed boutique, no, not Creed boutique, the Creed display, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
sniffing like the ones that I want to smell. The lady comes up. Here's a card of our most popular samples called Aventus. Aventus is, and she's going off a spiel about Aventus. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
thank you, thank you. And I just put the piece of cardboard down next to me, and she's like, "Why don't you smell it? Don't you want to smell it?" I said, "I already know how that smells like." I mean, but anyway,
You
that's
could
going
just
off
play.
on.
You could just play dumb. And just have
Yeah. I just that most of the time I do that. I just pick whatever they spray on a car because they have no idea what I want to smell, right?
Mhm.
They're always giving me what their favorite is, and it usually is not very it's not very interesting. It's like a just a safe, non-interesting kind of a sauvage smelling kind of a thing. This
Yeah.
one's beautiful. It's one of my favorites. I was like, oh yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. I just say it like that, and I just kind of move on from it. And since it's not that I'm dismissing the sales rep, sometimes I like talking to the sales rep. As you can
Mm.
see, I like talking. So I like talking to I just dismiss whatever samples they give me. That's the only thing. But
Yeah.
um
Jamil has a question.
yeah.
He says, "What's a good recommendation for someone new to Amwash?" Um, well, it
Yeah.
just
It
depends on
depends.
what kind of notes you like or what kind of scent profiles you like.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, a good recommendation from me, I would say if you want to start somewhere safe, um, hmm, I want to say like maybe Portrayal, man. That one's a very safe-ish. And Wash
Mm.
Beach Hut's also very safe.
Beach
I
oven.
feel.
Yeah. I agree about the
Uh,
beach oven.
then there's another one. Uh, Fate Man.
I don't like
No,
Fate. Yeah, I gave you
oh,
some samples of Fate Man, right?
you
Who's saying
did.
Fate Man? Who's saying Fate Man?
You did. You did.
No, you just said Fate Man.
Yeah, Fate Man. Yeah. I think you sent. Did you send me samples of Fate Man, or maybe it was
Or
somebody else? But
no,
I
what
haven't
did
seen
you say earlier? Did you say Fate Man or Figment?
Fate.
Oh, Fate. Why did you say it? I didn't say Fate Man.
You said Figment.
No. You said earlier, like about a minute ago, you said Fate Man. So I'm just kind of wondering, did somebody mention Fate Man in the comments or no?
No, no. They said like a good starting point. Like
Oh no,
because
yeah. I'm gonna disagree. I'm just
okay.
gonna disagree with you, Dr. Goo. Fate Man, I would not recommend only to the diehard Amwatch. So if you want something because you're collecting Amwatch and you already have like 20 bottles of it, then get Fate Man. Don't get Fate Man as your first bottle. You're gonna completely regret it. I'm
Why?
serious.
'Cause cumin.
Huh? Oh yeah,
Why?
the cumin is not the bad part of it. It is cumin, right? Did you smell the
Yeah,
sample I sent you?
I did. I did.
Yeah, it's very cuminy, but the bad part of it is the cumin is in a room that's not dressed up in any other way. The room is just it's just cumin inside the room. Usually Overture has cumin, right? Cumin is one of the dressings of that room that Overture is in. But there's other things going on that makes that cumin presentable. But if Fate Man's just a blank room with some cumin in it, it's got some other kind of weird things going on in it, and it just smells like dirt and cumin. So I mean, I understand the the purpose behind that, the imagery you're supposed to get with Fate Man
Mhm.
is going to like one of those night festivals. You know, like in Brazil, they have those.
Yeah,
What are those called? Like a New Orleans kind of a
like a Mardi Gras type of deal.
yeah, carnival kind of a thing, right? So it's a
Yeah.
carnival type of vibe where people wearing masks and all these kind of weird things that are at night, and there's
Hmm.
people are just kind of like all naked running around in their whatever they're wearing, and you put Fate Man that kind of matches that kind of a scenario. So Fate Man is that, but when am I ever gonna go to carnival? You know,
You
but
never know.
yeah,
I'd say another one would probably be Interlude Black Iris. That one's a lot. I feel like that one's a lot safer than regular Interlude, man.
yeah, yeah, you're
Way
right.
safer.
Black Iris has kind of like that interlude vibe, but they pulled out a lot of the impact that interlude
Yeah.
is known for. So that's the good thing about interlude is that there's so many reasons why interlude is such a masterpiece. Like let's say you talk about one of your like for example, if you mention something like a um, I'm trying to find an example. I don't know. Let's say there's a popular ABC fragrance. The reason why it's so famous is because of its performance, right? So if you take away its performance, then there's nothing to talk about for that fragrance. There's another fragrance, a fragrance XYZ. The reason why it's so popular because of if its notes, but it doesn't have anything. If you take away and reformulate those notes to something else, then you lose that fragrance. But interlude is like an NBA team filled with LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Shaq, Michael Jordan. You got Jason Kidd on there coming off the bench. You got Tim Duncan. I mean, you know those NBA players, right? So if you take any like a Michael Jordan or a Magic Johnson off of your team in interlude, man, you still have a rocking team. You still have a, a
Pretty
huge team.
powerful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why Interlude Man is such a masterpiece because you can pull away a lot of things like in Black Iris. You can
Yeah.
take away impact. That impact is like a Shaq. You take away Shaq from that team, you still have a Michael Jordan team and LeBron James on there. Get Black Iris. Yeah, if they want something to kind of an
Emulate, I guess.
example of Amwatch, if
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend something safe because Amwatch is not really about safe, right? So if
No,
something wants to be,
they have safe art. They have safer options. You know, of
hmm,
course. I mean, of course, we're going to recommend, of course, like sample it, get a sample off eBay or something, or off Lucky Scent or whatever first. But I mean, yeah, I agree because first, like starting off with Amouage,
yeah,
yeah,
certain
I would try it.
Black
Yeah,
Iris, yeah. So I guess our points from you and from me is that the person who's asking for Amwaj recommendation for a first timer is that you want to go something that represents Amwaj because Amwaj is not safe in
yeah,
general term, but
yeah,
also something that starts them off slowly like a Black Iris because at
yeah,
least it will give them a little bit of a window where the lion's coming to the window, but then you don't have to engage that lion because you're not experienced zookeeper, right? Once you
yeah.
become that experienced zookeeper, then you could go into the lion's den or to the gorilla's den. that's where that's where Interlude Man is sitting. So yeah,
100%.
I would never recommend Reflection Man. I would never recommend Meander Man or some of those that are just they
I mean,
don't.
Enclave is, but I don't really feel like it's an Amouage really.
Yeah,
Enclave.
Enclave,
Right.
I do remember smelling. Is it green, dark green bottle?
Yeah, it's like a chocolatey mint type of vibe going on.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
And
really remember. Yeah, I can't really say anything about it because I don't remember what Enclave smelled like. But yeah, I mean, some of those don't have that Amwatch flavor to it. Like
yeah,
Enclave is also one of them. It's a nice looking bottle, but there's no Amwatch signature in it.
no,
It's
it's
just
not
it,
John.
yeah, it reminds me of one of those like you go to a Japanese grocery market and you get one of those drinks. It's like a melon drink, green melon drink. It just
Oh, is
reminds
it
me
the
of
one with the marble in it?
Or yeah, some of them have that marble in it, but then there's other ones where you just could pop off the top and you shake it. It's kind of like it's got like a honeydew vibe to it. So
Okay.
Meander Man is kind of like a wearing some fragrance that has honeydew in it or something like that. That's what I feel. But yeah, I mean, you want to go to the next. I mean, I think we spent too long with the first one. Is only we're already at the 1 hour mark, so we might.
Oh, it's all good. Let's see, what time is it? 10, 12. We'll
Yeah.
go for about another what, 15?
Okay.
I
Yeah.
wanna say. And then we could always do part two because
Yeah.
we only answered one of those questions. It's funny.
I knew that was gonna happen. Yeah.
It's fine. Let's go over these comments real quick. So
Mhm.
Jamel says, still got my dad's bottle of Polo Green. Dude, check the batch code on that. Let us know what the batch code is. I'm very curious. Harry Samal says, have you tried PDM Hobdon? Also fire. Have you tried PDM Hobdon?
Yeah. So hopped on it is a for me at least is I agree with him somewhat is somewhat of a fire fragrance. Hobdon is kind of it is interesting in its in a scent profile. It's got a little bit of it's in a line of kind of a Wajon, I guess. Wajon. It's a little bit in the line of Hamdani and Acaster. And I actually had hopped on a few years back in 2018. I had a bottle of hopped on when I was going on a big Parfum de Marley surge. Hopped on was one of them before I sold it off. But I mean, I enjoyed it, but I just wanted to keep one that had that sort of a scent profile, and Wajon was the one I wanted to keep. I didn't want to keep two of them that were kind of hopped on
Yeah.
has the I think it's like a honey note in there. I believe, just correct me if I'm wrong because I don't really remember, but it's like a honey note, some incense in there. It's a little Middle Eastern, but it's a wearable Middle Eastern. It's very westernized Middle Eastern. It has that PDM kind of a scent profile to it that Wajon had at the time. Back then, I wasn't really into the heavy Middle Eastern ones, so I let go of Hobdon. But yeah, I mean, if I were to knowing my taste today, I would keep the Hobdon, but I just sold it off.
I I think I smelled Hobdon. I don't it wasn't very I don't really remember it, so it must have not have been that great to be honest
Okay.
with you. So I can't give you any input,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
Harry. So
I think
uh,
for me, for I guess Hobdon, again, these are our opinions, and I really respect and appreciate people making comments about certain fragrances and stuff like that. We're discussing it, our opinions, and not that we're going against or anything. But my opinion for Hobdon, I kind of agree with Lock Sense is that Wajon and Hobdon, when I had both of them, Wajon is the more impressionable one, so that kind of left the memory with me. So I understand Wajon's purpose in my collection. The Hobdon kind of had a mixed bag of impressions. I couldn't really pinpoint which direction Hobdon was actually going. Wajan I knew, Herod I knew, Leighton I knew their directions, but Hobdon just kind of it was a little bit cloudy in how it's depicting itself. So I just didn't, and also it was kind of redundant from Wajan. That's why I let it go. But anyway, it's a good one. Yeah, I mean, if you're a PDM collector, Hobdon, if you had it back then, I mean, it was really cheap. But now it's again Hobdon. You pick it up for 300 or something like that. So if you have it, props to you for enjoying something like Hobdon because most people when they reach for PDM, it's just Leighton and Herod, right?
yeah,
or Percival or something like that. Or but
Leighton's. I love Leighton, man. Leighton's good.
yeah,
Leighton.
yeah,
I like it's it's nothing complex or anything, but it
yeah, yeah,
smells good. It gets
yeah,
compliments. It lasts
yeah.
pretty 8, 9 hours. I mean, it's a good fragrance.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a really good friend. So if you're talking about something that gives you the ability to pick up compliments, yeah, Leighton is the one to go to. Yeah.
let me see here. A Google couple replied to Jamil. He said sample kit 7 for 40. I think he was talking about the Amouage sample kit. So um, Harry Samal says use Nissan wisely. It's discontinued. Um, I wouldn't be surprised to be honest, because like I was telling you, Brian, I cannot find it for a good price. It's barely
Yeah,
any on any websites.
yeah. He's
So
correct. So Nissan is not available through PDM anymore. They're no longer having it in the big box stores anymore. Bloomingdale's and stuff like that. They don't sell it. So the only way to get is through the gray market, who has a few bottles left here and there, and they're sold at a high price. So like if you go to definitely if you go to eBay, but eBay is a landmine of fakes and stuff like that. But I don't think anybody will be faking a Nissan. But if you go to even all the big gray market dealers like fragrancebuy.ca and stuff like that, they don't have a Nissan, right? It's hard to find.
it
Um,
is.
I know Joma Shop I think has Nissan, but it's at a really high price, like almost $400. It's crazy. But I mean, I didn't even pay even half that. I mean, what I was like a way lower than that
Oh
when I
yeah,
got it. But that's why I had just put this as part of my just masterpieces that I is a treasure for me, because if I had to save something, not only is this scent profile amazing, but I got such a good deal on it that I don't want to let go of a good deal, you know. So yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Um, let's see. Jamil says big facts. That's why I'm not entirely against blind buys. Sometimes the sprayer on decants suck. Depending on the fragrance, you can make your money back by decanting.
Yeah, sure.
It's true.
Definitely.
That's
That's a smart way of doing it. I don't have that ability because I don't have a decanter. I don't know how to do this and that. I don't want to learn. I'm just kind of lazy. But most people like you, Dr. Goo, you buy a full bottle and you're selling out like $20 worth of a decant here and there, and you're only left with a 50 mil or a 40 mil, but that's all you need for certain fragrances. But you get all your money back, right? I mean, most of it,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
I don't really be. I don't sell
Well, yeah,
decants.
for your case, yeah, you're not selling it. Yeah, you're a good guy. You're like a
I give them away,
you're,
man.
yeah,
I'd
you're
be like,
giving away stuff.
because it's like I mean, just like Jamil, right? I'm gonna send you if you're still watching. I'm gonna send him a sample of B612 by Nishane and
Yeah.
Sultan Vetiver
Okay.
because I don't think he smelled those yet. He's really curious, especially where he lives,
Yeah.
somewhere humid. So I feel like it would really, especially B612, that would be. But I don't know. It's just like the enjoyment of instead of
Sharing with
buying a
them. Yeah.
sample of like $15 for like a little sample, I can
Yeah.
you know I
Yeah.
have a 50 ml of both. I got enough juice. A Google couple says Bryan said interlude and overture man is off the chain. So I guess that is another saying.
Off the
Remember what we were
chain.
talking about earlier? Off the chain.
Yeah.
It is.
We used to say off the hook. You hear
Off
that
the
off the
hook.
hook? Yeah. No.
I think I've heard that. Not really. And
Really?
yeah, not that much. Maybe, and you know what? Maybe it goes by like region, and
Yeah.
we're on the West Coast. People on the East Coast, I'm pretty sure they say different stuff, or maybe
Yeah.
far up north, they say different sayings.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Harry
We used to say
Samal
off
said,
the hook. That's off the hook. You know.
"Oh,
Interesting.
this is another good one too." Harry Samal, Amwa Silver Oud is number one for him.
Really.
Yeah, that's another one I want to get from the House of Amwa Silver Oud,
Okay.
but man, it's so expensive. Gosh, for a
Silveroo, I
hundred.
never smelled it, but did I give you a sample of it? I think I gave you some kind of.
No, it was an Amouage. You gave me a sample of Amouage Wood Symphony, and it was Amouage Reckless Leather. You gave me two. You gave me those
Oh,
samples.
okay.
Which Reckless Leather, in my opinion, smelled like curry.
Yeah.
And Wood Symphony was nice, but it had no projection.
Yeah.
It had no civet
Mhm.
in there, so it was very light, airy, and for the price, I thought it was kind of a waste of money if you were to buy a full bottle. But just my
Yeah.
opinion, like very
You know what?
fresh, floral, watery kind of feel to it.
Yeah. I remember I
Um,
gave you an Epic Woman, right? There was an Epic Woman sample in there as well.
you did. I haven't tried. I had. Oh no, it was Honor Woman.
Honor Woman? Okay.
Yeah, it was Honor Woman. I haven't smelled that one yet. I haven't busted it out of the package yet. Because I wish I could show you. Like I'm just there's a little door right here. I open
Mhm.
it up. I mean, literally hundreds of samples, and then hundreds of
Yeah.
samples on the other side over there. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to make my way through all of this stuff.
It's gonna take a
Harry,
whole year or 2 years to do it.
yeah, and
You better do it soon before those samples dry up.
I know, man. It's like that's why I've been doing a lot of first impressions, but then it's like I want to do full reviews on them too.
Yeah.
But you can only wear so many fragrances during the day and try to
Yeah.
keep up and take notes, and then you
Yeah.
then you also want to wear stuff you want to wear too.
Of
So
course.
it makes
Yeah.
it difficult. Harry
Yeah.
Simon also he says also Royal Tobacco. Have you smelled Royal Tobacco?
Royal Tobacco?
I am wash.
No, I have not. I have not. I didn't even know there was a Royal Tobacco for. Is it new?
I
Is it a newer one? It's like a. Is it like an Opus series or?
I believe
It
so.
sounds like.
It's an Opus series.
Is it
Silver
Opus?
Oud is Opus, and Royal Tobacco is an Opus series.
Yeah, that's what
I
I thought
believe.
because yeah, I never heard of a mainline I watch called Royal Tobacco. It sounds interesting. I mean, I love tobacco notes, so anything
I
that
heard
has like a cigarette smell to it. I mean, tobacco is not cigarette smelling, but anything in that genre of cigarette smells of
Smoky.
ash, smoky, tobacco leaves and stuff like that. I cigar pipe smells. I mean, it
You like
conjures
that?
up so many childhood memory smells. I love that smell. So
Jamil says Ramoon. I have no idea what that is, Jamil. So, he says, ignore me. I was behind as hell. It's okay. I think there's a delay with comments, guys. And there's no way I could fix that. I wish it was. If you guys comment, it'd pop right up.
oh
But
yeah,
um,
we get
Jamil
that.
says, I have a decant of Hobdon. Okay. And a Google couple says Arabian perfumes are perfect because they don't wear deodorant sticks like North Americans or roll-ons like the British. Bus stop of 300 people in the Middle East traumatized me for life. So they did. So they had so they wear a lot of fragrance since they don't use deodorant. That's crazy. Jamil says it reminds me of Herod, but has more depth to it. I think he was talking about Hobdon, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I have no idea.
Yeah,
Jamil says,
to me, I don't know. I don't think it's Hobdon that he's talking about because Hobdon and Herod, they don't have any similarities to me. He has that PDM signature, but in terms
mm,
of the scent structure, I don't know. Yeah, I don't really remember Hobdon that much, but yeah, I know there's a note of honey and it's sort of Middle Eastern, Western smelling.
let's see. And Jamel says, Pegasus was a love at first sniff, reminded me of Lamont.
Oh yeah.
Leighton only recently became a love for me when I doused myself in the sample on a colder night. Then I understood how sexy it was. What do you think about Pegasus,
That's a good
Ryan?
question because one of my questions there was which of the fragrances that you have or experience that is you would change one thing about it, right? Just one thing,
Okay.
and that will make it like one of your best. So here's a sample of, I mean, not a sample, but this is my here's my Pegasus. But this is my Pegasus exclusive, right? So the the Pegasus that he's referring to is the original OG with the metallic bottle.
Silver bottle.
It's nice. I like the Pegasus. It is definitely kind of like Le Mans. It is a somewhat of a Le Mans focused. It's copying that a little bit. Well, I wouldn't say copy, but a lot of people say PDM copies other. I don't say it's copy. Pegasus does smell like Pegasus, right? So it has um, PDM is so centric in its signature profile that I would say PDM is not really because you think Pegasus is a copy brand, right? Like a what do you call it? Like Dua and stuff like that.
Like a
They're
clone.
called yeah, clone brand, right? It's not.
Yeah.
Pegasus is not a clone brand because their scent profile is so PDM. Harrod has a PDM signature to it. No other brand out there has the PDM signature. So Pegasus has that PDM signature, but it does smell like similar to Le Mans. I would prefer Pegasus because it's got more of that richer. Le Male is a little bit, to me, it's a little bit immature. I guess it's just a little bit Macy's smell to it. But so Pegasus Exclusive is my favorite one out of that um, genre, I guess. Exclusive is kind of mature. It's
Okay.
got a little bit more of an incense domination in it. The almond note is kind of toned down. It's more smooth. The only thing I would change of Pegasus Exclusive is its performance. It's not
Sorry.
very a good projector. The regular OG Pegasus is a very good projector. You can wear that to a nightclub, to a Las Vegas outing with your friends and stuff like this. This is more kind of like going on a date. If you're more in an intimate kind of a scenario, Pegasus will be bombastic in a nice restaurant if you wear too much of it. This one, it projects very well for um,
What it
a
is.
nicer night out. If you're with your wife or your parents or something like that, it's a very pleasing and very mature kind of base to it. But I love this one. I just wish it performed better. It just is too. I don't think it sits close to the skin. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying here. There's certain fragrances, they sit close to the skin, but they still project well for sitting close to the skin. You can still smell it, right?
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
it's okay. It smells close to the skin, but it's definite, defined. But
Yeah.
some of them, they're a little bit, I don't know what it is, but even if it's close to, if you smell your skin scent, I can't get the definition of the scent.
So like
I don't
you
know.
still smell it, but it's
Yeah, it's elusive.
yeah.
It's a little bit elusive, and it's not out there. Like for me, Bulgari Man in Black, it's not a skin set because you can't smell it here, but for some reason it projects the whole room. And
It
people are
does.
like, "What did you just put on?" Like my wife would be like, "What is this that you put on?" Man in Black does that. It just completely fills the room, but you can't smell it on yourself for some reason. I don't know what happens to me personally, but this one as well is another part of the spectrum where it's not a skin set, it's not projector, and you can't seem to capture where you can't seem to define the scent very well. I guess overall, when I connect all the dots, I like the scent profile of this, but it's not defined. I wish they would make more of a intense version of this, a Pegasus exclusive intense, and really converge on the notes and make it a more defined scent, then it would be perfect. I think that would be, for me, on the level of an interlude, man. That's what I think. That's where it's kind of dropped off. This
Hmm.
would be a masterpiece from PDM for me.
If it
If they
perform well.
would if they would converge on the scent profile and
Okay.
make it more focused. If they did that, this would be just like one of the
Just
best. Yeah, it's so great.
let's see. Jamil said, or I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct, man. He said, actually, no, I fell in love with Pegasus on the dry down. He said that shit is divine. So
Yeah.
is the dry down pretty good?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
yeah,
Pegasus on the dry down. It will PDM. They're all known for their dry downs, right? I mean, their uh their signature comes out, bam, right in the opening. But a lot of the goodness is just in the dry down, the heart of the wearing. The next 2 or 3 hours. That's where PDM just kind of shines out the most. And I agree with him. Yeah, Pegasus is is still today the OG Pegasus is one of the I guess standards of comparisons of like certain nightclub scents, and I call it a nightclub scent, but
okay.
we always bring Pegasus out. I mean, for like a Vegas scent, for going out with a night out with the guys, Pegasus perfect. I mean, if there's any frat comp person out there and he's into clubbing, let's say, If they don't
Okay.
have Pegasus, then they're not very to me not very a certified fragcom guy. If they don't have Pegasus, at least a decant of it, or if they have never tried Pegasus, then I wouldn't know if they could call themselves a fragcom guy who goes to clubs a lot, right?
Now is Pegasus, is it like really sweet? Is it
Yeah,
like
it's
super
sweet.
sweet? Okay. Like
It's
vanilla sweet or
it's metallic, vanilla, almond,
okay.
all the things that I guess young girls would like that scent profile if they smelled it in the air, but a lot
Okay.
more of the more um, settled and older women, I guess they don't really, care for it too much. It's not something to wear at a business office or something like that. If you're in a cubicle with a lot of people around you, yeah, Pegasus, you probably just wear one or two sprays. But if you're spraying like 5 or 6 times, I would say, in
No,
my
no.
in my company, HR will call me over and say, go home and what they would do that. They
Oh,
would do
for
that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not serious. Remember, I told you about when I was working at the hospital, right?
real?
So
Mhm.
the hospital, I was doing a contract there, and then that situation with the nurse, you know,
Yeah.
um, we were going room to room in the one of the emergency rooms at the main hospital, doing some validation for their printers. There's some printers in every single room. They're like receipt printers for, I don't know. It has like the the HIPAA information for all the patients on it and stuff like that. So we were validating and we're going room for room. I was wearing Duro, and I sprayed
Yeah.
one or two sprays of Duro. And I was going around in there. There was one nurse who was down the hallway. She kept eyeing me, and she was like this, giving me this weird look. And then she finally came to me. She said, you're the I found out you're the one who's wearing that fragrance, right?" I was like, "Yes, I am." She said, "It's too strong. It can be very
Oh.
people can object to it, and especially the patients around here. And
Mhm.
I would prefer next time, please do not wear this fragrance." Or I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, should I leave the hospital?" She said, "No, you can stay, but I prefer that just for as a warning. We do send certain people home and get changed or wash up, and are they, So I was kind of shocked that she approached me that way. And I didn't even spray that much. That was the first time I ever sprayed Duro. I sprayed only like a 1.5 sprays because it was from a little new decant. I
Yeah.
took the first one was like a half spray, and then the second one was a full spray, and then that was it. And it was, I guess, objectifying to the nurse, the head nurse there. And I learned something. I was like, whoa, this kind of
Yeah.
situation. And then I had a news story. I'll tell it next time. But there's another crazy story at a workplace. But anyway, that's just me rambling on about that.
No, you're good, man. You're good. I remember when you commented that, and I was like, you should did a little joke about Gregory Isaacs, night nurse, since it was nighttime and night nurse came, told you, talking to you or whatever. But maybe that, maybe people didn't get that joke or whatever.
No,
You know
I
what I'm
don't get
saying,
the
right?
reference.
Oh, you don't get the reference?
No, no. What was the reference again?
I said Night Nurse by Gregory Isaacs. You know who Gregory
Um,
Isaacs is, right?
no, who's Gregory Isaacs?
No, man. Come on, bro. No, it's okay. He's a reggae artist, like way back in the day. One of
Okay,
the like OGs.
okay,
Uh,
okay.
I'll send you a couple of his songs.
All right.
And when you listen to them, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be like, "Oh, I know who this is."
Yeah,
Be like,
maybe. Yeah.
before. But yeah, man, I think we're gonna end it there.
Okay.
And then on our next live stream, we'll get to the rest of these questions.
Yeah,
How
we
about that?
haven't even hit the majority of them.
No, I think we only got
Yeah.
to the
One.
one, but that's okay. That will give us more. That will give us more time to, you know what I mean, think of more or whatever, tweak this that together. So you stay after just a little bit because I do want to talk to you.
Okay.
I want to end this live, and thank you everybody so much for watching. The only reason why we're ending it, we got well. I know,
We
Brian,
got
you don't got
late.
really anything going on today. I have some stuff going
Yeah.
on for Memorial Day, but I appreciate everybody for who was watching. Nebu, Harry Samal, a Google couple, Jamil. Uh, thank you,
Yeah.
and
Have a Have a great Memorial's Day. Yeah.
Yeah. Have a great Memorial Day, everybody. Thank you so much, Bryan, for joining me again live. It's always a pleasure to have you on. And I'll talk to you in the background. So thank you guys, everybody. I'm about to end it right now.